If you're in Kentucky and you hear there's going to be a release at a distillery, that doesn't mean like, boom, I'm getting it, right? It means how many freaking people are going to be there?
You and 3,500 of your closest friends
Right.
are going to be in line. Welcome everyone to episode 167 of the Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you are going to hear all week long. We're hosts Kenny, and Steven. Hello, Kenny.
You double Kenny. Will you please stop blinking, sir?
You look very scary to me.
Kenny's
Adam Sandler in a horror house.
say
horror. I need to
Enunciate,
enunciate a little bit better. Sorry about that.
Oh my God, Kenny, seriously, dude.
lettuce.
Kenny, dude, literally, I think that we're going to be calling an ambulance here pretty soon. This blinking thing's got to stop. So we're trying to get ready to record, and Kenny's blinking like nonstop. And what did you say? Oh, you see how this looks? Now look at him. He looks like,
I think it's stuck.
he looks like he just woke up, doesn't he?
Oh boy, I was blinking rapidly.
So if you're wondering what people did before they had whiskey, instead of having a nice pour at night, they would just blink rapidly for hours to try to calm down, right? Oh, man. So
I'm a little dizzy, a little sweaty.
He's got his workout in.
Yeah, completed rings.
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
yeah. I am a
Holy
little.
cow.
That was good.
Wow.
Do that more often.
Well, that was pretty much the most unconventional start to the podcast I think we've ever had in the history of the podcast. There's a lot of firsts here on the mashup, but how you guys been, man? We're coming off that week after the 4th, little 4th of July hangover.
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you get into some drinkings
We
there?
did.
Oh, nice.
Did some lake drinking.
Lake? So what lake did you go to, sir?
Harrington Lake.
So Harrington Lake, were you in the lake? You were hopefully outside of the lake when you were consuming beverages, but was this a bourbon tasting, or was this just more like garden variety, give it the old college try, Miller Lights?
College try.
Okay, college try, the Miller Lights, and what else you call them, the seltzers and everything you could put in there, kitchen sink,
Yep.
mixing some rum.
Yep.
Dang, Steven had a heck of a 4th there.
Had it all.
Yeah, what about you, Kenny? You get into anything fun for the 4th?
For the 4th, we had a little cookout,
Yeah.
and I did not partake in any beverages, but I did light a very large, loud firecracker.
What kind of one, like an M80?
It's like quarter stick of dynamite type huge. It was big.
Right here within the city limits of a city?
Of course, never. I did it legally some other place.
Okay, that's what I thought. Did you sign the waiver that you would be
yeah,
in
exactly.
I'm not going to be in my backyard. I'm going to be somewhere else. But no,
Yeah.
we blew off a ton of fireworks. So the thing is we've been getting together with neighbors, and this has kind of been like a last couple of year tradition. And so we went earlier, and I know there's a few people that really like bourbon. So I took 2 nice bottles down there, and we all partook in some pre-drinking, I guess, before then the beer came out and the kind of stuff that you have when you're doing the fireworks. But man, I didn't realize this, but recommendation of your fireworks guy, I went and bought some stuff from him.
That was good stuff, wasn't
Good stuff, yeah. And then I also went to Phantom, so I had about, I guess, combined about $250, maybe $300 for the fireworks. But like, we put on a nice show for the people. There was a lot of neighbors that came out. I was actually kind of like, man, if I'd have known y'all were going to come out, I'd spend a little bit more money.
it? Yeah.
So that was fun.
I think I probably saw your stuff from my house.
You may have, in fact.
All around us, it's
Yeah.
always busy.
It was, and I was trying to think with the elevation, you probably could have seen our stuff from your house.
Came from your area.
There you go. Yeah, we had a lot of stuff going on, and there's these other neighbors around the other side of the block that are all nice people and whatnot. They used to invite us to their fireworks display, and they didn't this year, so I must have done something wrong last year that I can't remember. They got me uninvited. No, I think they just decided to tighten it up this year. They
must listen to the pod.
Yeah.
that must be it. Well, if you're
Like, I
listening,
ain't messing with that dude.
that's right. And like, if you're listening to this and you didn't invite me to your fireworks display, we had an awesome time without yours. So, yeah.
No
Not
doubt.
being vindictive or anything. I'm just throwing that out there. So, anyway, yeah, no, but I actually went up. Also, I had to mention this to you guys because I drove up to Ohio. My cousin is a doctor in Ohio, a foot doctor, and he has this huge like farm area. Like he actually farms the land.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the second year. I think it's the third year he's done this, but it's the second year that everyone's been able to come into town. So I got to see my cousins, my brothers, parents, everybody. We took this massive family photo that had like 30 plus people in it. And he put on this massive fireworks display. It was just a lot of fun. And so it was kind of tough because we're being originally from Ohio and then spending like, 2 days up there. It made me a little homesick, and it doesn't happen to me very often. I don't, I love Kentucky. I love living here. Lived here a long time. Being up there for the second consecutive year, and seeing my kids play with their cousins, and seeing my own cousins and family and everything. It was a good time, man. We had a great time. Yeah.
Well, don't be moving.
Hey, I didn't say I was going anywhere.
You can move.
Yeah.
Me and Steven will just.
You guys continue on without me? I got it. Yeah. See, easily replaced. You guys say it now in my face, but you
can call in.
Yeah, that's right. It could call in, right?
We'll put you on hold.
You know what? Do you remember? Didn't we set up a voicemail box for the show? We got to advertise that more. We need people to call into the show and leave voicemails.
Tony.
It's Tony. We need people.
I think we did.
I think we got to figure that out and get that going because
messages on there.
Yeah, we got to allow people to call in and leave us voice messages that we can play on the air. That would be great.
Oh, that'd be true.
Remember to keep it clean, though. No.
Goodness gracious.
But gentlemen, aside from 4th of July festivities, I actually want to tell you quickly about another experience I had, which kind of leads into the bottle that we'll talk about tonight.
Okay. I had something fun too.
You did too? Okay, go ahead. Please, you
ahead.
You first. No,
sure?
Yeah, you. Go ahead.
I went and picked 3 bottles / barrels. To pick 3 barrels.
Oh, Kenny on barrel pick,
at
Steven.
Buffalo Trace. Oh. And that's your place. You would have loved it.
Oh, what did you pick there, sir?
We picked a Buffalo Trace, which I don't know if we talked about. I went on a Buffalo Trace pick like maybe 3 weeks before that, and it was not good. Like none of them were good. But
you said that.
All of us on the pick. Okay, all of us on the pick agreed. Well, this time it was really good.
Oh.
2 of the 3 samples were really good, and we picked the better one. But we also picked a Stag Junior.
Oh.
And a Weller Foolproof.
Ooh.
And it might possibly be the best Weller Foolproof I have had.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
So we've talked about the Banners number 5.
Yes.
And that has been my benchmark for Weller Foolproofs.
Banners number 5.
And not benchmark to be confused with benchmark Foolproof.
Can I get a Cinco?
De Mayo.
There you go.
But this, I'll have to take some side by side, but just going off of just memory alone, man, this might be the it for Weller Foolproof.
Uh-oh.
Like dead serious.
Ben.
No, man, seriously.
Both Bens, double Ben.
And a local bourbon guy who buys a lot, sells a lot, trades a lot, drinks a good amount.
We'll call him Jack Harlow.
There you go, Jack Harlow. Yep.
Yeah, he's in my phone as something white something. So,
Okay. All right. Yep.
Yep. He also, like, it was like the day after or the day before we did ours. I think it was the day after. I saw him post about it, and they also went and did Weller Foolproof. He got to do his with like Harlan Wheatley. It was pretty cool.
Whoa.
But he was talking about how it would tasted nothing like any other he's ever had, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And so I actually called him. I was like, dude, we just experienced the exact same thing the day before you all. Like this, whatever barrels are pulling right now for some Weller Foolproofs are pretty on fire, man.
That's awesome.
'Cause a lot of times it seems like to be just a little hot to be hot, maybe, not as balanced, but
Right.
nah, man, this, the one I tasted and the one he tasted, like similar tasting notes. So I can't wait for that.
Be curious to know what barrel and floor you got versus
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
That would be awesome if they
That'd
end
be
up
cool.
being like a run like the Four Roses stuff. And
Be
that's when
neighbors.
you really start getting at like, okay, we're picking this stuff and it's come from similar ricks and we're all tasting really good stuff. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you have?
So we went on this thing called the Rail Explorers. So the old historic railroad in Versailles. They've taken
Is
that
it underground or above ground?
it's above ground.
Okay.
Okay. This historic railroad, Kenny.
That would be a subway.
I thought he was going back to like there's historic like up north in Warren Underground Railroad. Yeah, it's a lot of historic tour stuff. So
Kentucky is big in that.
Kentucky was
Because
too.
that's the border state. Yeah. That's,
oh man.
You got to Ohio.
Yeah, there was like friends of mine growing up that like had like secret passages in their houses and stuff like that, which was crazy. So scenic railway, whatever, out in Versailles, they actually run this train, like a historic train, like twice a day, I think, on the weekends and sometimes me on the weekdays, where they go all the way out to the Kentucky River and back. It goes forward and backward. Well, now they have this thing called Rail Explorers, and it's ride the rails. So you get on this like open air car that's like a little go-kart almost with rail car wheels, and you're pedaling. And you pedal down the same railroad track, and you go all the way to the Kentucky River where the rail stops, but it's this huge bridge, and guess what's on the other end of the bridge? It's where the S Bridge is at across the Kentucky River.
Wild turkey.
Wild turkey, right? And so you can see wild turkey. That's what you see when you get to the end of this, the Rail Explorers. And you can't get over there, of course, because it's that huge old bridge that's decommissioned now, that old rail bridge. And it's just a really awesome thing. I went with my wife and the kids. Highly recommend it to everybody if you're visiting Kentucky.
You sent me pictures.
Yeah.
And you're texting me like, dude, y'all need to go.
Oh, yeah. It is amazing. And I think I was supposed to go with you guys that day to the breakout games, but I couldn't because I was going to do Rail Explorers. And so, yeah, I would definitely recommend that. And the fact that it's overlooking wild turkey when you end, if you're a bourbon lover, it's just a pretty cool experience. So, and you can take your own drinks on your rail car.
I take my own drinks anyway, bro.
I know, but I didn't realize you could. So I didn't take any pocket pours on rail cars. no pocket pours in a rail car. Because they actually said, like, jokingly, but they were serious. They're like, if you're in the pilot's seat, which is a handbrake, and controlling that just about, they're like, you got to make sure that you're not, that you're all there together. Like, so they expect people to come out there wasted, apparently.
Man, so you got pedals for all 4 people, or how many people does it sit?
It sits 4 people or 2. It's a 2 or 4 seater.
Okay.
You can pick. And the thing is they said it's assisted. And so it kind of like naturally levels with how much you're pedaling. Like you don't ever really come to a stop. But we asked afterwards, we're like, if we would have went like really, really, really fast, would have gone faster. Like there's some limitations to it. But they said whenever the battery goes out on those things and you have to actually pedal, they said it's incredibly difficult.
I got you.
Yeah, they said it's a massive workout. But it still was a good workout. Like everyone was tired. The kids were tired. I was fine, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, you're an athlete in your prime.
Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely.
Fine.
Fantastic.
So it's like we used to go to the paddle boats at Jacobson Park.
Right.
So, paddle.
Hey, paddle boats are no joke.
Yeah.
My son did that when we were up on my cousin's property. He got in a paddle boat, and I'm like, what are you doing? No life jacket, anything. He's out in the middle of the lake. So I'm like, hey, I go, can you please? I'm like yelling at him. He can kind of hear me, but not really. He's not paying attention. So he's like Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, like these 2 kids. They're like docking wherever they want and jumping out of the boat. So I finally ran to the other side of the lake, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm just a little tired. I'm like, get back in the boat and pedal back to where you're supposed to dock at, man. Like, oh, it was crazy. But anyway, I had visions of getting stuck out there and me having to swim out there.
I'm about to go, man. I'm about to do that then.
Yeah, go do it. It's a lot of fun.
So when you're on your rail car, did you ever like get up and change seats coming back so you'd be pedaling forward again?
They actually switch the cars at the end. Like they're able to like pivot on, so they're like on a platform and they pivot them so that you're going back the other way. So when you stop, there's like a 20-minute to 25-minute time where you're standing there to overlook where the S Bridge is at and Wild Turkey's at, where you're looking at it across the river where they're changing your rail cars around. So
pit stop.
Good stuff, yeah. It's pit stop.
I've been to Wild Turkey before.
Oh, you think?
Just a few times.
Okay. To be continued.
Well, boys, we had another review this week.
We most certainly did.
That's really nice.
It is. And
nice.
we are, as I've mentioned before, we're behind on our reviews, but we will get to
lots of them.
We have a lot of them, and we're going to get to each and every single one of them. So this review was Bourbon Networking was the name of the review, and it was left by B Best via Apple Podcast on 6/11/24. And this listener said, I first started listening to an episode where you had Ryan Alves on the podcast. All right.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Should have been here tonight. We won't talk about that.
He said, I had just previously been able to join the Bourbon Junkies on a barrel pick where Ryan was also attending. Man, is he a great dude or what? As with many things, networking to find new stuff is great in the industry, chock full of awesome people. I love the banter and insight into the industry that you all bring. Kenny adds another dimension to keep you all on your toes. As I consume podcasts at a fast pace, I have been making my way back through the episodes and enjoying them enough to leave this 5-star review. In a recent episode, you mentioned attending a whiskey event that made me think if you were interested in another, we would love to see you at the Bourbon Junkies 3rd annual event, Bourbon in the Barn in Michigan, August 2nd through the 4th, where I believe Ryan will be attending again this year. If not, I hope someday I'm lucky enough to run into you all and maybe share a pour together. Keep up the great work. Cheers, Luke Stevens.
That's very nice.
That's nice.
Wow, that's amazing. And we just got another invite to a bourbon event.
Well, Ron has gone the last, I guess he's been to all of them. So I was thinking about going up there. Because here's the thing. My boy Harry Micah.
Yep.
And Darsh are both up there.
Okay.
And I was talking to Harry the other day about just, because Harry's come down here. I said, dude, I got to go up to you.
Right.
And he even mentioned going to the Bourbon Junkies distillery too.
Really?
He actually kind of lives, I believe, kind of close to there as well. So I'm going to look at those dates. And so this August 2nd, 4th isn't too far from that, but I might try to make that happen, man.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We're not going to go up there like in Zoolander, are we?
There you go. Perfect. That would be quite the entrance. But no, Luke, dude, that is such a nice review, and we really appreciate it. And if I got to it sooner, then I could have planned better to be at the I was at Bourbon at the Barn event.
Hey, we might go.
We might go, yeah. We might, I think we could do it, right? You think we could do it? We
As many vacations as you take, you could definitely take off another weekend, bro. Come on now.
You can work from the barn.
In Michigan, yeah, exactly. Work from the barn. And Michigan's not a far trip from here, right? Michigan's
8
not bad.
hours, 6.5 hours.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Something like that.
That's doable. That's totally doable. So, yeah, hopefully we will see you at the barn.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, would.
And if you'd like a shout out, just leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or however. And next time we record, we'll give you a shout out. Well, gentlemen, for this week, we have a very simple looking bottle.
Simple. How simple so?
Like we've seen it 100 times.
Okay.
For this week, we have a bottle of Russell Reserve 15-year-old bourbon.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll just leave that there. I like that. So the Russell Reserve 15-year-old bourbon is from the Wild Turkey Distillery in Lawrenceburg that we just mentioned there at the end of the Rails tour. The bottle date is 2024. The ABV is 58.6. The proof is 117.2. The age is 15 years. The mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. The MSRP,
I'm excited, bro.
The MSRP on this is $250, and we'll probably talk here in a second. A few of us may have rated the distillery release, but when it released the distillery, it was $277 after tax, and that's hefty.
It's a luxury tax.
It's a luxury tax, yeah.
Man, I'm excited. This is dark liquid.
Yeah. I mean, and Steven mentioned that if you've seen this bottle like we've seen it before, the bottle shape is nothing significant. It's something we've known and we loved for many years. But the one thing they have changed, and I'm actually really excited, is they've gone through multiple instantiations of labels. I think since I've been drinking bourbon, Russell's has had maybe 5 different labels, and I've only been drinking bourbon maybe since I've tasted it, but seriously been drinking bourbon since 2013. So in 10 years, Russell's at least probably 4 or 5 different labels, I think. So to see them kind of settle on this one that they have now, I like it because I think it's really sexy.
Yeah. The regular Russell's picks are red on the label.
Yes.
And then the Russell's 13s are like a lighter blue.
Mm-hmm.
Not light, but just like a royal blue over there on the Russell's 13.
Yeah.
So this Russell's 15 is a dark blue, so very dark, like a navy blue.
Yeah, and with that copper lettering,
right?
It actually looks good.
Real sharp.
Yeah.
If you glance at it at first, because of my color blindness, I actually thought it was black.
What's yellow?
There you go. No, I thought it was instead of dark blue, I thought it was black. And it actually took me to stare at it a little bit longer to realize it was a dark blue, but it's beautiful.
Can we just pause and talk about that?
About what?
You being colorblind.
What about it?
I knew you for a year and a half at least.
Right.
Before I knew that.
Well, you
are honestly always very snazzy dressed, nice shoes, and just, you actually dress well.
Well, thank you for paying a compliment.
Those mail order outfits. Where
Broad, what? Oh. So does Monty dress you or what? Or lay your clothes out?
No.
on the edge of the bed?
No, it's not full on. You guys, you know how when you go to the eye doctor and they show you the pictures and say, can you see these numbers?
The numbers inside the colors.
Right.
Yeah.
There are at least 5 things
or
6 that I can't see.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it's not the severe,
it's not full on.
It's not severe full on. But it's to the point now where
it's not full on palate blindness like you have with Buffalo Trace stuff. Right. Okay. It is. Okay. I got you.
Full of palate blindness.
No, I'm just making sure. I'm checking, bro.
Thank you for pausing to care about me while also insulting me.
He just wants to understand.
No, but I really didn't know for like a year and a half. And like, you really are always very well dressed, nice shoes, nice.
Well, thank you.
Everything's put together well.
Yeah. No,
So,
it's a very close shade kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But it's
Okay.
severe enough to the point where I've been growing up like following people and like friends and busy. They're like, oh, follow me to so-and-so's house. And I'm like, okay. And next thing you know, get sidetracked behind somebody else. And someone's like, hey, what are you doing? And
a
I'm
different
like,
color car or something?
yeah. And I'm like,
Okay.
I thought I was following my friend. And I'm like, in a blue Jeep. And they're like, that's a red Jeep and it's night. And I'm like, I really couldn't tell the
Gotcha.
difference. So
Okay.
it's like that. And then I know it's bad because now my kids, like they are doing all the YouTube videos, right? And they'll be like, hey, look at this video. And they come across the color one that shows the numbers and the letters. And they're like, what is in there? And I'm like, I can't see it. My son's like, really? You can't see that? I'm like, yeah, no, I can't see it. He's like, it's a 6. And I'm like, okay, I can't see
believe
it.
you.
And
That's
he just, they can't even get over it though. So the two of them do not have whatever I have.
Yeah,
and we're
that's
trying to
funny.
figure out, we think it came from like a great grandparent or something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. But anyway.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm 6 years older than you, I guess. Like me growing up, we had to do that freaking swish in elementary school, that fluoride crap. So,
Oh, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if that, led to any of that or what.
Oh, maybe. So you're saying that fluoride may have made me blind?
It made me crazy. I know that.
Tinfoil hat.
It made me crazy.
There you go.
So for those younger members of our audience, what are you talking about?
You didn't have to do that at school?
I don't remember.
Dude, you had, it was, I don't know if it was once a week or whatever, once a month. I think it was once a week. They literally poured fluoride in a little paper cup, and you had to swish it for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, whatever, literally in school.
To strengthen your teeth.
Yeah, in school.
Yeah, I didn't
You
do
had
it,
to do
but
a
I heard
fluoride
about it.
freaking
Yeah.
swish and
What grade
wash.
is this?
All the way through third, fourth, fifth grade for me.
No, we didn't have to do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are younger. You're lucky, man.
Yeah. Yeah, kids not know what a rotary phone is. They will never know the pleasures of swishing that fluoride. See, Kenny, that gave you a great palate. You didn't know the government was giving you superpowers.
Ooh. Brain on the fluoride.
There you go. So I do want to start off by talking quickly about how we got this bottle, because this was actually something that was like, I can't remember what day it was. It doesn't matter what day it was. All I know is it was like late, like 12 something. And a friend of ours texted and said, hey, I heard there's going to be this drop at the distillery. Well, even when that friend had texted and said that, there's already like 3 different groups online where people were already speculating that it was going to be out there. And so then, as anything, like if you've never, I want our listeners to feel this. If you're in Kentucky and you hear there's going to be a release at a distillery, that doesn't mean like, boom, I'm getting it, right? It means how many freaking people are going to be there.
You and 3,500 of your closest friends
Right.
are going to be in line.
And how many bottles they're going to have, and all the speculation begins, and it just turns into like a crazy rat race where everyone is just, it's got like, you got this uncertainty where you're going, if I leave at the house at 6 a.m., am I going to be there for a 9 o'clock open? Is it going to be okay? And all this other stuff. And so,
And no matter what time you leave,
Right.
someone's going to beat you.
oh yeah,
And you're going to
someone's
be way further back than you expected.
always going to beat you, and that's going to be about, well, how many bottles are there? So after that text came through, I said this, I'm not setting an alarm. If I get up and I'm up in the morning, then I will go out there. That was the promise I made to myself. So I got up at 6:45 without an alarm, started my coffee and everything else. I texted a couple people. Actually, I texted Kenny and said, hey, I'm driving out there. And he was like, I just got up, but I'm going out there too. And I was like, okay. And so we all ended up out there, and then I'll kind of let you take it from there, sir. Well, a lot of us ended up out there.
Yeah. So we also went to the, I don't know, I'm horrible with time, 3 or 4 weeks ago for the Triumph release.
Right.
And we got to the Triumph release, and there was like 4 cars there, and that was it. We were all like,
Oh, wow.
are they going to release it?
Wow.
And
I did not go to that, and I know Steven didn't either. So that's why
they
I was
opened
like,
up at
what?
9.
Yeah.
So we sat there in the car for just 15, 20, 25 minutes.
Right.
And, a few more cars showed up, but we just kind of waited till closer to 9 o'clock and got out and went up there. But this release, we got there, and as we were pulling up, the whole entire first parking lot, which is for the customers,
Yeah.
was totally full.
Yep.
So we had to park at the next parking lot back where the employees park.
Right. And they're doing construction up there, so half those were construction trucks in that
Yeah.
lot. And I know we were all searching for information as we were pulling up, and people were like, park here, park there. And then the craziest thing is, so when I got there, I think there was only I counted about 180 people when I got there. And you got there shortly after. And by the time another 20 minutes went by, which probably is about 8 o'clock now, there was probably another 300 people there, right? Wow.
Yeah, somebody posted on one of the local, one of the, like the Wild Turkey Visitor Center Facebook page or something. Somebody posted a picture of, hey, there's this bottle up here. Boom. And so I guess people then started scrambling to get off work and change their work schedule and get there and get dressed and everything.
And I have to say this because it's not like we had inside info, because as we're driving, that picture that Kenny's talking about got posted, and that caused a frenzy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what was like maybe a few hundred people knowing about it, it turned into thousands. And so, anyway, long story short, pretty uneventful. It was a pretty organized thing up there. They were very good. They handed out vouchers, let people go through and get their bottles. But I had that moment where I've been to some releases, but I haven't been to releases lately. That's not something I've done a lot of in the last couple of years. And after I got my bottle and I was walking back to the car to make sure that I could get to work on time, because they did open a little early, I was watching people running. They're parked from so far away and they're running, like sprinting at the doors, right? And they're going, hey, do you think they have enough left? And I'm just going, yeah, I think they got enough. And I'm going like, I'm that guy now. Like, I remember sprinting at the door and asking people, you think they have enough left? And I'm like, I have no idea if they have enough left, but I could be lying to you, but go ahead. But it was
you encouragement.
Yeah, right. It was kind of chaotic, but it was fun. And then I have to say this as well. There was a veritable who's who in the bourbon community there. And I'm not talking about people that are just having sips. I'm talking about people that were there for enrichment only, and I don't blame them for that. But I mean, there were so many people. I'm like, how do I know this person? I'm looking at him like, how do I know? I'm like, oh, that's one of the people online that sells literally everything. I mean, I had to throw it in there because even though, again, I'm not perfect, I just was like, man, this is the who's who of like that whole entire scene. So
I mean,
all those folks, man.
Like I said, I definitely do not throw shade at all because I do sell some things. But to have special bottles like this that have like never been done like that hardly.
Right.
You got to keep a couple and drink, man.
Right.
And I saw a lot that were not even just, it was instant gone, boom, done. And here's the thing, like,
people posted pictures at the register. No,
yeah, man.
I haven't paid yet, but it's yours if you want.
These are like pre-crotch shots, huh?
Yeah, pre-crotch shots.
Yeah.
They didn't make it that far, did they? I love it.
Like I said, I'm not going to throw shade because I sell bottles, man.
Yeah, just let me throw the shade and take the heat.
But it's...
Steven, too,
Like, all right, you take a Weller CYPB.
Right.
White label CYPB. What, $60, $80 retail?
Yep.
And I mean, they were crazy high. Like what, $550 or $600? Now they're what, $400?
Right.
Well, CYPB, they're going to have CYPB again 6 months from now.
Right.
Or 3 months from now, then 6 months from now, then a year now, blah, blah, blah. If I lucked into one of those at retail, I'm selling that bad boy because I've tasted it and it's not worth what the value goes for.
Right.
Something like this, they're not going to have something like this again. So I'm just like, man.
Right.
Hold it, drink it, enjoy it.
Right. You bring up an interesting point because, Stephen, I've said this before. You and I we don't know a lot about Wild Turkey compared to how Kenny might know it or Alves or somebody else.
I feel like I'm learning.
You're learning, though, because, see, that's one thing you had the awesome night of being able to hang out with David when I was not here.
That is true.
And so you got all that knowledge. That was a wealth of knowledge. And then the other night we got to listen to with David and Ryan when we weren't here talking about turkey. But I've learned a lot about it. And what Kenny just said is true. So this, according to a lot of things I've read online, is not supposed to be an annual release. This is supposed to be like a one-time thing. Yeah. I mean,
one time, what I've been told.
Yeah. So can you imagine a one-time release? We don't know how many bottles there are. We don't know really a whole lot about it, but we do know that Eddie has said that leaden barrels go till, what did he say? He said something like 17 gallons on average evaporates from a 15-year-old barrel.
Yeah.
Expensive. That's why this is expensive. So, yeah.
I've heard anywhere from 60,000 to 88,000 bottles in this release.
Really?
So that will really change the quote unquote secondary value depending on
60.
That's a lot.
88,000.
60. I've heard like basically like 55,000 right at 60 all the way up to 88.
Wow.
Now the people that I am close to are saying closer to 55 or 60,000. But then I've heard some online people that say, hey, I have my source and I trust my source. My source is always right, blah, 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 blah. And they've said, 85, 88,000. But
Wow.
What Maker's Mark Cellar
Yep.
was what, 60,000?
Yep.
What we determined. So
I'm just trying to get one over here.
yeah. So I mean it's a good size release.
Come on, please.
But here's the thing. This is Camp Nelson F.
Okay.
So you got Russell's Reserve Single Rick, that's Camp Nelson F.
Yep.
The Russell's 13s were Camp Nelson Fs.
All the old stuff was
Right.
in Camp Nelson F, huh?
A bunch of those like any of the bad boy old school Russell's picks, the Bluegrass Berries, the Twix Ones, obviously, the Star Hill Shorties and Shark Buddies and pretty much any of the, like a lot of the bigger name ones are all Camp Nelson F, and that's a defunct Rick House. So I really don't know how much juice they've got left from Camp Nelson F, man. It can't be much.
I remember when I was like getting into bourbon, and I would go to Total Wine or wherever, and they had those picks, and I feel like almost all of them were Camp Nelson.
Yeah.
Like I had trouble, like you had that, like that sheet of warehouse A, B, C, and what their like flavor notes were known for.
Yeah.
And then there was all I could find was like Camp Nelson stuff.
Well, see,
Right.
and that's a timing thing.
I think it was just a timing thing.
It's like if you talk to David Jennings or you talk to Alves and you say, hey, what's some of the best Russells? Like, well, what year? If it's this year, look for warehouse H. If it's this year, look for warehouse T. If it's that, kind of
Right.
like runs, kind of like like a Four Roses run or something.
Yeah, not like it runs in your pants.
That's just crappy.
Perfect. Sorry. Okay, Kenny, go on.
Don't trust that fart.
Okay.
Anyway,
So you're sticking it up.
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you.
heading forward towards first and your pants begin to burst. Diarrhea.
Cha-cha-cha.
Diarrhea. Heading towards second and you need a disinfectant.
Dude.
Old school baseball
Old
stuff from Little
school,
League,
there you
man.
go.
So,
Dude, I'm glad that we could all share that moment with my stupid commentary.
That's all right.
Fantastic.
no, but it's, yeah. So, depending on what it's like, so for example, I have some 2015 Russells. The Warehouse T was just the it back in 2015. I have T6s, 2015 T6s that are just amazing. So,
Right.
yeah, it depends on, what year and what era and stuff. But Camp Nelson, man, that's been my favorite so far. And I think it's one of David Jennings' favorite.
Okay.
Well, I should have picked up more back in the day.
There you go.
I think I was going for like A and D.
Yeah, I used to hear.
I remember finding a D and like saying it to you. Like I found one finally.
Yep.
Of course, I don't know what year it was. I was
Well,
just
people used
excited
to
find
say
a warehouse.
D for delicious. I remember
Right,
that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So those little monikers. Yeah, there you go.
Well, should we go for our first nosing?
Yes.
Gosh, that's freaking rich.
Rich is an understatement.
Ooh,
I
man.
mean, let's put it this way. Is this one of the highest proof releases that they've done retail? Like, when I say retail, I mean like coming out of the Russell's label, or what high proof? Like,
Yeah, no, so
and
Generations is what, 120?
okay, yeah, it is. It's 120.
Then Pride of Answering County, but that's not under their label, though.
Right.
That's under Rare Characters label. So this, other than like a Wild Turkey donut back in the day,
Yep.
this should be the highest proof other than Generations, I believe, of anything they've done. If you look at that Generations over there,
Right.
and look at this looks a lot darker. They're not sitting side by side, but this looks a lot darker than Generations.
It does, absolutely.
But-
I agree.
So what'd you say? It's 117?
117.2.
Nice.
And the reason why I asked that is because sometimes you will get, I mean, obviously anything above 110 maybe. 110 is usually where I feel like if it's not done well, you're going to get some ethanol. This is like rich, like fruit laden baked goods for me.
Yeah,
like
heavy-
that's where I'm
heavy
at. Like
bake.
heavy baked good, like fruit and like just everything I like in a nose.
Yeah.
So instead of taking a little short nose, I like just, I did like a 20-second inhale.
Yeah.
No ethanol.
No
pop.
ethanol. Wow.
Really?
And this is not just like light dessert. This is like heavy dessert.
Right. Yeah.
Gosh, dang it.
So I remember very distinctly talking about tea and potentially orange when we were talking about the Pride of Anderson County bottle. And I'm picking up some orange on this, on the nose.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't know about the tea. I don't know if I had to talk about the tea. We'll see what it tastes like. But I didn't pick up tea until I tasted it before. So that's just me. I get that weird note sometimes. But man, a lot of fruits.
I do want to back up and talk about something else. Because you mentioned about the release in the distillery.
Right, yeah.
So I had a couple people I saw post in the group about, hey, Wild Turkey, way to botch a release, way to blah, 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 blah.
Really?
Yeah. So I fired back on them, though, man. I was listening to them like, look, I was like super impressed with what they did.
Right.
Number one, they went and handed out tickets.
Right.
So that way, if you wanted to leave and not stand in line, if you had to get to work, they said you had until 5 o'clock that day to come back and get your bottle.
Which is ultra nice of them.
Number two, they opened up at 8:15.
Yes.
There was a lot of people outside. Dude, I have been at Heaven Hill. I have been at Four Roses when there's a big line of people and you see the employees just standing inside. It's not like they're like moving around and like rearranging and unboxing. They're just literally just standing there, just counting down until 9 o'clock hits or 10 o'clock hits or whatever. So I really thoroughly enjoyed the fact that they handed out tickets and opened early. I thought that really showed a customer first attitude, man.
No, I agree, and I will say that that was for as many people that were on the grounds and how much hijinks there was with the parking and everything, because people were literally parking everywhere.
Now, they are not made for that.
They aren't
That's
made for
one
it.
thing they
That's
have discovered now.
Yes.
So I don't know what they're going to do. They are not made for that at all. The old original distillery
that
they were using temporarily while this one was being redone.
Oh, you mean the old log cabin, the gift shop log cabin.
But that has a huge parking place next to it.
Right.
This place is not made for a big release at all whatsoever, zero.
Right.
So I wonder, people were parked on the highway.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was
dangerous.
On the highway.
Yeah, there were people parked all over the place.
Now, they are building a new distillery up there.
Oh, they are? I didn't know that.
Second, yeah. When you drive in, all that construction on the left, that's a new distillery. They're going to have a second still up and going.
Wow.
So I wonder now after this release, they might start, which I don't think they had works, but I wonder if they put something like, oh, crap, we need to expand this parking lot area.
They might. I don't know. But I agree with you. It was professional. I mean,
I thought it was great for what they did.
The only, I would say, comparison of a professional release, and again, I haven't camped at Heaven Hill, but I was there for the barrel pick and saw some of that camping stuff, and the fact they don't let you in. And then when I went to Woodford for the double oaked, I went there once when they didn't have it as organized, and I went there once when they learned and then had the Kentucky State Police. We talked about it on the podcast, remember?
Yeah.
And they did like a very orderly, like stopping traffic, letting people cross the road. Even with that not happening at Wild Turkey, I think it was pretty orderly. Like when I was coming back to my car, I'm not going to lie, there was this guy in a massive truck, like the F-350 size, kind of like a truck you have, Kenny, massive. And he was trying to back in next to where I was parked, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's just going to smash my car. He even like stopped, looked a couple of times, like knowing that he was wasting precious moments that he could have been running to the distillery. And he took his time, kind of parked in a situation where he wasn't blocking everybody, but could fit this massive truck in there. Hey, hopped out, same thing. Hey, you think I'll still get one? Yeah, I think so. Head over there.
Yeah.
Same thing. So it was a good crowd and good people. So I agree with you. It was good of them too.
I was.
Yeah.
No, my brother, he came.
Oh, your brother did?
Sean, yeah.
No way.
That was like his first bourbon adventure type thing. He's actually moving to Florida. So,
he is, man.
But he left work. He went to work early, left work, and so his first big release happened to be literally one for the ages, man.
Yeah.
I think one for the ages. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's dark color, and 15-year, 117 proof from Turkey, man. That's pretty good.
Well, for the ages, might as well go for a taste.
Let's go.
That sounds good. I like that.
Let's do it.
Dude, the nose is so good that let's see how this tastes.
Wow. That's a powerhouse.
Taste a little hotter than 117.
Right.
I agree.
In my opinion, it drinks up.
Yep.
ECBP's 119 to 136 usually.
Right.
This drink's like a 125, 130.
I'm glad you said that because I thought it was a little hot.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I don't like it though, because I like hot, but this drinks up, I think.
This is definitely something that now we have poured and let it sit as we were chatting and nosing it. But it does when you first take that sip. It's a little hot.
Yeah, it's a little warm.
Yeah, a little warm. But I'm excited now for the second sip because, we've talked about this before. Some things, as soon as, you can burn your palate out if you don't watch, right? You got to warm it up a little bit. And there's very few whiskeys that you can pour and drink initially and just be like, oh, this one hits you a little bit of ethanol, but not really ethanol, just powerful.
Yeah.
Just powerful.
But
a lot of flavor.
I don't get the ethanol as much as just chesty. Like it's in my chest.
Yeah. Chesty.
But like Russell's 13 to me drinks down in proof. Mm-hmm. This drinks up in proof.
It has a real great like undertone of like all the baked goods all the baking that we were nosing from earlier.
Man.
It's gonna sound weird. It might be a Crown Royal thing.
Uh-oh.
Am I getting blackberry on this a little bit? Like just a dark fruit? Like, because I don't think grape like dark, but like a black. I don't know.
Actually, Kenny, what I was going to say is you always torture yourself.
He blinded you.
There you go. Right, I blinded you with some Crown Royal blackberry. That's what I did. No, you always torture yourself and say you don't have good descriptors, but I actually think you have a good descriptor this time. Like I think it's like it's in that berry realm. Like for me, raspberry, strawberry. But if you're saying blackberry, you're in the berry realm. I mean,
it's like a
flavors.
darker, just.
I was gonna say it's a darker berry.
Darker.
Yeah. So for me, raspberry, strawberry. But for you, blackberry. I get them. It's a fruit salad, right? The blueberry, blackberry, raspberry, all mixed in the bowl. You know what I'm talking about? You ever done that? Put a little sugar. My wife takes all the berries,
Cool Whip,
puts a little sugar on the berries, mixes them up, puts a little honey in there, puts some thing. That's what I'm getting there. It's one of those little fruit salads. That's what I'm talking about.
I get a little citrus too on the finish though, because on the nose, like you said, orange a little bit is there.
Yep.
But on the finish, I didn't think I would, but I ended up getting a little bit of citrusy.
Anthony, who's this kid over here?
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
my God, what the
fluoride,
heck?
bro. Fluoride, bro.
Seriously, you are always saying like I like it or I don't like it. And you're not giving, but that you're on the spot on with the descriptors tonight. Yeah, citrus. It's like it's an orangey citrus taste, but it is chesty. I like that. It's a chesty bourbon. I bet
you can really grab onto it, right?
Yeah, you can really. It grips you. I mean, you grip. You know what I mean. It grips you.
I cannot believe how much this drinks up though.
It does.
It does, especially in the back of the throat. It really I'm not gonna say it burns it, but it sits there.
See, I like higher proof. I mean, some of my favorite ECBPs are 131, 136. I mean, they're up there a little bit. I'm surprised this drinks up like that. That's pretty wild. Because Pride of Anderson County, that also drank down. Mm-hmm. And that was 121-ish or something.
Right.
Generations was 120. It drank down.
Right.
Man, this is bold and rich.
I think it's taking some of those stag notes from this bottle shape.
Well, there you go. Is that it? That's what Kenny always says about stag. Hot to be hot, right? This is not hot to be hot, though. Not to be confused.
A little oaky.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? When you mention the oak is not the thing to me that dominates the palate, though.
That's what I said little, though, yeah.
Yeah, it's little. It's funny because you mentioned that you gave Jimmy a pour of CGF.
Yeah.
That's what? How old is CGF? 12, 13?
Well, that was an 88, so they're rumored to be 15, 16 years
15, 16. There you go. Okay. So in person, Jimmy was kind of averse to the oak. And then in one of the press releases I read when I was prepping for the show tonight, somebody else said that, it's kind of Eddie's thing. Like Jimmy would not want whiskey to be 15 years old. He would want it to be bottled.
Right. 8 to 10 or something?
8 to 10, yeah, in that realm. And so that's another reason why you probably won't see one of these releases again, because as long as Jimmy's out there, right, and he's still doing really well, happy for him. He's still at the gift shop doing all kinds of great things, and I think that 15-year-old is too oaky for Jimmy. He's probably not reaching for this pour.
So this being 15 years, though,
right?
The reason why I was really curious about this is, from what I've been told, this is 15-year and some 16-year.
Oh, okay.
Russell's 13
right,
was a blend of also up to 20 to 30 to 40% of it's like 18 to 20-year-old juice.
Really?
Mixed with 13-year.
Wow.
So I was really curious how this tasted, because it's mainly 15, 16, whereas Russell's 13 legit has 18 to 20-year-old whiskey in it.
Right.
So I was curious about that. And this is what's taken place of Russell's 13 this year. So there won't be a 13 this year.
Okay. But they are going to have future 13 releases.
Future 13 is coming back, but this is not coming back.
Okay.
Because the barrels that would have gone to it went into the 15?
I really don't know the answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to find out. Don't know the answer to that part.
Well, you know what's interesting is I don't think that. I mean, this is a relatively new thing. Yeah, sure, Russell's has always had in the export market in their Dusties that people have been going for wild turkey for a long time, and they've revered those releases. But domestically, I'm trying to think. Like, there's the 1998, there's the 2002, so 2003 and 2002,
2003.
and there's Master Series. So they've done special releases, but they don't get the acclaim like a Buffalo Trace does or a Heaven Hill does, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I still feel like their best days for, I'm going to use Alva as this term because somebody said, I love the way he says LTO. I just said limited release. He's a limited time offering, LTO, right? I think that turkey's like really new to the premium LTO game, like in the way that they can do it and do it successfully. And I think that 13 kind of really kicked it off because the Master's Keep stuff was big for the people who were really into turkey, but it never commanded massive prices. Right. And Diamond barely sold. Do you remember when Diamond came out? Like you could, before people tasted it, people were like, I'm not spending $170 on Diamond. Like they just never pushed the envelope like some of these other distilleries did. And now it's the shoes on the other foot, right?
13 years, what did it?
13 years.
13 years they released it still like what, $89?
I think $100.
And then it was 500, 400.
Yep.
So the next Russell's 13 that came out, it jumped from that 89 to like 189 or something. Right. There was a huge jump.
Right.
And that's something else, man. I think we talked the other day about Four Roses with the Father's Day.
Right.
And a lot of the big Four Roses heads. I mean, even though the bottle was selling for $750, $850, they're like ISO $500.
Right.
I'll pay $450 shipped to me. Like they're really trying to force and keep it down.
Right.
And same thing with a lot of wild turkey, man. A lot of the old school wild turkey people, man. I mean, they are used to, because turkey did pride themselves on just being great tasting, affordable whiskey.
Right.
And they still offer that. But something like this is just something they don't usually put out. And a lot of people have a hard time with like, especially if they've been drinking it for a while, they're really not liking the pricing points.
Right. Yeah. Nope.
I mean, I don't think they're overpriced. We talked about that before. You know, if you compare it to other special releases of other brands,
right?
You know, but a lot of people, you know, they're not enjoying that premium thing.
So Kenny, would you pass, try, or buy on the Russell Reserve 15-year-old bourbon? Anthony, why don't you go first?
Well, before I answer that, you know the drill.
Are we really going to blind now?
Blinds, baby. Ain't no past trap out without a blind.
Oh, man. Okay. It's going to be a quick one then.
This is not the quick Tuesday episode.
Uh-oh. Watch
we
out.
got a little blind here, boys.
I only have a tiny bit left of the 15, so.
That's all right. There's a whole bottle over here. Here, I poured a lot accidentally.
Here you go. All right. So we have a blind now. We can't get through a past try by without Kenny blinding us. And this is going to be interesting because I would assume that you would want to blind us with a Russell's 13, but then I'm like, that's too easy, right? That's way too easy.
That's my mind was going that way.
So I'm going to be open-minded about this.
It's going to be Russell's 13.
And I have not tried this next to that, so I'm also curious.
Wow. How about that? Even if you know which one.
Like the blind leading the blind.
There you go.
Colorblind.
Oh, just got to keep that theme going, don't you?
We'll call this the yellow sample.
What is this pen doing over here? I thought that I sold this on eBay.
I saw that earlier. When I was cleaning up around here, I saw that. I'm like, there's the pen that I bought.
I still owe you $5.
Ben.
Yeah, it charged my card automatically.
There you go.
I had a card on file with eBay.
There you go. Well, I'll
I don't know if the listeners know about that.
We'll
David knows about it.
Well, it'd be really hard to autograph the pen with the pen.
Man.
Yep. I could tell this very quickly. So David, the day that he recorded the podcast with you and Alves, right?
Yeah.
He also was they were all on a Four Roses pick that day, and Four Roses gives these sample kits out, and there's a little pen that comes with them. So for Agent Orr that you can write a glass marker. So one night I was over here, and I don't know what got into me because I'm goofy like that. I created an eBay listing
for David's Agent Orr
Agent Orr pen. And then Kenny bid on it.
I bid on it because he told me he would cancel it or set the.
Then I forgot to cancel it.
Or he's supposed to like set the
Thing, yeah, reserve.
the reserve high enough to where my bid wouldn't count.
Yeah. Nope, I didn't. So Kenny purchased a pen that's right
That
here.
I already own.
They already
sitting
owns.
in my basement. I had to pay shipping on it and everything.
Yep.
Freaking jackwagon.
There you go. So $5, and I got to reimburse you for that.
Yeah. Shave your arms, give me a massage, you'll be all right.
This is NC-17 rating now.
I do have to say the blind you poured us
Yeah.
smells more floral and lighter than the
Yeah.
15.
That's funky too.
It's got like this this cherry Kool-Aid watered down flavor going on for it. Very subtle.
I agree with you. It's got more of a medicinal cherry note, where the other one's got more of a full berry note flavor to it. But I'm going to go back to it right now.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth.
The blind drink's easier than the 15 as far as proof wise goes.
I'm going to agree with you 100%.
Okay, good. Because I'm done with the blind.
Oh, you are? Wow, look at that.
Crushing the blinds,
He likes the
boy.
blind.
Okay, well, I guess I know which one I like better.
I think it depends on what you're in the mood for, right? And then also what the price point is of whatever he poured us. I still feel like
That's dangerous.
I still feel like that's something turkey.
Back to my original question about pass try by. Mm-hmm.
Well, I have one more blind, so hang on.
Oh, come on. No, you don't.
teasing.
I was like, dang.
He's got two.
Holy cow.
Anthony, you should go first.
Well, this is actually very torturous for me because I think that my judgment is clouded by the fact that I've not drank a lot of turkey. And I always say that because I go back to the episode we did the CNF. We did a single Rick stuff. Didn't we do single Rick?
We did C and F, didn't we? Or did
I
we
think
blind C with
I
F?
think we blinded one.
Maybe we
with
just
the
did
other.
F and then blinded C with it. Yeah,
But
one
I
of the
think
two.
I said I was a try, right?
Yeah.
And as I sit here tonight and drink this, I am in something I haven't done before. I'm between a try and a buy on the Russell's 15. I thought personally, and this is just me, so please take it with a grain of salt because I'm not a turkey head. I thought this was going to be like a home run. It is a home run. Don't get me wrong. It's a great whiskey. It's fantastic. But I feel just based on my experience that if you line me up with Russell's 13 in a blind, I still might like Russell's 13 better. I'm not saying that's what's next to us in the blind, but I'm saying I am a try with a very strong propensity to buy if I get more time with this whiskey.
Steven, sir.
That's funny you said that because I was teetering on a try and a buy.
Okay.
And then I'm thinking about the price point of this product
Right.
and turkey heads that are going to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to be a buy minus.
Okay. All right.
I like the nosing and everything of it.
Oh, the nose is probably one of the best noses.
My
Man.
second glass of it was nice.
Second glass? You went 2 full glasses? I love it.
These are one finger glasses.
I know,
okay?
I'm just
Not
kidding.
your
I
So
three
it's
fingers.
very, very,
Okay.
very safe to say at secondary, you're passes. And at retail, you're between a try and a buy.
I don't think we even talked about secondary.
No, we
Secondary
haven't yet.
600.
Yeah.
600.
Yeah, but I'm saying but since you're between a try and a
retail right
buy,
now.
you're talking about straight up the 271, 277 retail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm talking about retail.
Yep,
too,
yep, perfect.
Because I imagine, so you're going to buy it even at the price point. I don't think you're going to care if you're going to collect them, right?
Right.
But as a product, it's good.
Right.
It's just hot.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's probably my only caveat to it. It's hot.
Right. But again, hot right now. It's the middle of July, baby.
Yeah.
Could be a great sipper on
And
a
what's
cold
weird
night in the
though
winter.
is it drinks up, but it's
Right.
only up in my chest, man. It's not an ethanol pop.
Yeah,
That's so weird though.
It's very kicking chicken. You know how people say turkey to kicking chicken?
Yeah,
it's
it's
very
weird.
kicking. It kicks you in the teeth.
All right. So on the day of the release, I opened this up and then I poured it blind
Okay.
against Russell's 13 batch 1, batch 3, and Russell's Reserve Single Rick F.
Of course you did.
So I blinded all 4 of those.
Who wouldn't do that on release day? Mr. Kenny Mills.
And Shannon and myself tried them blind.
Okay.
For me, this finished first in that blind.
Oh, okay.
And I was torn back and forth between both Russell's 13 batches on second and third place.
Okay.
And the Single Rick F was my fourth place.
Okay.
Makes sense.
For Shannon, Single Rick F finished first.
Wow.
And this finished second. So in a blind against some other turkey stuff, this definitely stood out.
Right.
But I do follow your sentiment a little bit based on how dark this is.
Right.
And how good the nose was. Mm-hmm. I thought this was going to like literally blow me away. And it's just good for me. It's good. Mm-hmm. It's good and very good, but it's not blow me away. As in some of those Russell's picks that are the 09 F6s.
Okay. So
like Star Hill Shorty, Shark Buddy.
I've still never had the pleasure of this Shark Buddy.
You haven't?
I don't think so.
Really?
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
There's a OBC Kitchen pick. I got a Total Wine pick. I got a Kroger pick. Any of these 09 F6s that are 11 to 13 years old are just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. So this is still maybe not. It's not necessarily, I don't know if it's better than those or not. Because I definitely beat Russell's 13 for me in a blind, but I could turn around and blind those exact 4 and get a different answer next time.
Right.
You know?
Close.
So this to me, I am a buy on it.
Okay.
Because I really do think it's great. I enjoy it. Don't know if I would be a buy. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I would not be a buy at secondary.
Okay.
I'm a buy up to maybe 400.
Okay.
Secondary's been 550-ish.
Right.
So I'm a buy. I would be a buy up to about 400 for me. Mm-hmm. I don't think I would go. So at retail, I'm definitely a buy. I think I'd buy up to about 400.
Okay.
For me.
That's fair. I mean, think about it. That's about $100 to $125 markup on the retail price. I mean, so yeah.
Now, what I'd like to do is tell you all about the blind I gave you.
I'd love to know more about that.
And I want to see if that affects your past try buy or not.
Yep.
I don't think it will. I think it might be the same.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back for one more sip of the blind I gave you.
That blind is gone. I think for me and Steven, it's gone. He's trying to lick it out of the glass, I think.
So if we know that the Russells, because both of y'all like the blind better.
Yeah, just give it a slight edge. I mean, I
like the blind better.
The blind is...
all three of us like the blind better.
The blind has got like such a sweetness to it and like a lot of the stuff that's good about the 15, but like dialed back. I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
So this is Black Cap, Early Times, Ballin' and Bond. No, it's not. I'm just teasing.
Totally
again. I was like trying to think in my head, like, what are you talking about?
He's like, what is this Black Cap Early Times Bottom Bond?
So we know that the Russell's 15 was $277-ish with tax.
Right.
Retail or secondaries 5, local 525, second natty, what, 550, 600.
Right.
So you know that pricing point, and we both like the blind better. Mm-hmm. So what if I told you the blind was the only way to get one is roughly $750? So see what I'm saying? So that's why I agree. I like the blind better, but it's probably I'll say it's probably $650 to $700.
What is that $650 to $700? I'm trying to think. Is it some modern release or is this a dusty?
No, it's semi-modern. So keep in mind, you are a try to a buy, right? So buy minus, try plus,
right.
And knowing that this right here is a $650 to $700 bottle.
What's the retail?
Low 150.
Wow.
Okay, so below the bottle.
But you're never going to get it for that.
Yeah, right.
So does that change you from a try plus to a buy, knowing that you're drinking a $650 next to a 300 that you can really get for around 300 probably, because there's going to be a lot of them released at retails and liquor bars and Total Wines and Kroger's and all that.
That definitely complicates things. And here's the thing. I really do think that this Russell's is something that in a couple of months of being open is going to change.
That's what I'm hoping to.
And be a little softer. I just want it to be a little softer. Would I pay...
That would change a lot, I think.
Would I pay more money for a softer flavor like that? I don't know if I'd pay up to that $650, $700. I would gladly pay the $500 for it.
For which one?
For the blind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. $650, $700 is still a little steep for me.
So the blind is one of the most, I think the right way to say it, it's a hated on release when it shouldn't be.
Okay.
Because people are proof whores and proof chasers.
Right.
This is 2019 George T. Stag.
Are you serious?
116.9 proof.
This is this 116.9 Stag.
Yep.
I've got that.
Oh, yes, you do, sir.
But
you
I
do
did
have that
this
bottle.
because this is around, I think, it's 15 years old.
Right.
And it's 116.9 proof.
Right.
And we're going to Russell's 15. It's crazy, though, how the Stag drinks under.
Yeah.
And the Russell's 15 drinks over.
Right.
Proof for us.
Oh, my God. Actually, that's, you know,
that's
Kenny?
why I cannot be a buy above $400 on the Russell's 15. Because I'm going to spend $550, bro, I'm putting another $100 towards it and getting the 2019 George T. Stag.
The 116.9 George T. Stag is one of the most underrated
by far.
BS height of stupidity.
Mosick talks about that all the time.
That people ever did. And I'm so glad that I did not. I have maybe a bottle of this or two.
Yep.
I know Steven has one, and a lot of people have one from that year. And sometimes you find people like, oh, well, it's not traditional Stag. I want to sell it. Dude, it's good.
This flavor profile is awesome.
It's really good.
But that's why I'm a buy maybe up to 400 on this.
Right.
Because if you're paying $525, bro, I'm putting $100 and grabbing me a Stag.
Like, I don't know if I would like the Russell's 15 at the 500.
No, you.
I mean,
I'm
already
at
500. Yeah,
that's like too rich anyway at that point. So,
Dang, Kenny, that was a master class. I mean, you pulled some blinds before, but that was really eye opening, man.
Is this just like not
she?
Dude, Mosick is he has gone off on people about that. I love it.
He should,
because everyone's it's only 116.9. Bro, drink it.
Right.
Oh my gosh, the flavor on this 116.9. So good.
Really good.
Mosick will do it in a song form.
Oh man, I love that dude.
That ain't gonna lie, man. Some of the best nights after we sit for a long time and he pulls a guitar out, bro. That boy can sing.
Yeah,
I know. But when you're already a little bit tipsy anyway,
right?
And he's got the guitar out and singing. Man, that's some good times.
Oh yeah, no, we're definitely laughing with you, brother. He's one of those guys
making memories.
I still don't get as big of a hug from anybody as I get in my life from Mosick when I see him.
Yeah,
He's just freaking
that's my boy, dude.
And with that, thanks for listening to this episode. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code The Mashup for a special discount.
Also,
head on over to our partner, the Woodwork Collective, at woodworkcollective.shop. Enter code MASHUP for a 15% discount.
Also, let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.